Last winter, Josh and I got to spend some time in the mountains. We had come to celebrate the wedding of my cousin and her partner in Bavaria. It was so beautiful. And then my relatives generously suggested that we stay on. So we spontaneously decided to spend a couple of days exploring this alpine wonderland. First, we wanted to hike to a waterfall. This here is Kreuth. There's a legend that a hunter shot a deer with an arrow here, and then followed the trail of her blood in the snow until he found her collapsed in a pool. Instead of killing her, he watched as the deer arose, apparently healed, and disappeared into the forest. He told others what he had witnessed. The healing spring was named zum Heiligen Kreuz, to the Holy Cross, and by the 15th century it had become a place of pilgrimage. Maximilian I, the eccentric 19th century king of Bavaria, was passionate about the supposed healing power of this place. He bought it and commissioned a royal spa. In the king's spa you could bathe in the healing waters, and in goat's milk as well. 500 goats once grazed these alpine meadows, and this trail we were hiking was built so that farmers could take barrels of milk down to the spa, as well as wild alpine herbs to be used as remedies. King Maximilian's quest to bring health to his subjects sounds like a fairy tale. But I recently found out that our current British king, Charles, has the same passion for healing water and herbs. He tried to persuade the government that our public health system should provide treatments with no more scientific backing than King Max's holy well. Then in 2009, Charles's own company had to be stopped from making unsupported claims about the herbal remedies they sold. Looking at these stunning sculptural snow and ice formations, we felt what King Max had felt, that this place has a magic that is worth sharing. We realized that we were not equipped to reach the waterfall in this deep snow, so we decided to turn back. We weren't ready to give up on our quest for a winter waterfall just yet, so Josh summoned all of his German language skills and scanned the map for another trail leading to the word Wasserfall, and there was one just a short drive away. When we started the hike, it was starting to snow, and the wind was picking up. Before long, the snow was getting pretty deep, and there were no fresh footprints ahead of us. No one else was here. No one human, at least. just as we began to debate whether we should turn back again, the sound of falling water told us we were too close to give up. And then we turned the corner and were captivated. I felt shocked awake, as if the water was rushing right through me, as if the white noise roar was rinsing my mind of thoughts. The light blue of the ice cloak, the scale of the icicles hanging from the rock. The waterfall felt alive and divine. I don't know if any of the mystical vitality of this place comes across on video, so you'll probably think I sound crazy when I say this. But in that moment, the waterfall felt like a spiritual vision of nature's wild, life-giving vulva. Laugh if you like, but we're not the only ones who felt a spiritual connection here. This waterfall has a shrine to Mother Mary. There was a beautiful book full of messages to Mary, gratitude, hope and prayers. My vision of nature perpetually and abundantly blessing the earth with her gushing waters made me feel blessed already, with nothing in mind to ask her for. The next day we got up before dawn and drove through the foggy early morning all the way to Achensee in Austria. Perhaps the news of my mystical vagina vision had spread, because the border police pulled us over and searched our car for drugs. Achensee is the biggest lake in Tirol, 9 kilometers long and 133 meters deep. The Achensee and its surroundings once belonged to two knights. In 1140, shortly before their deaths, they bequeathed their land and the lake to God by leaving it in their will to the nearby monastery. In the early 15th century, the Archduke of Austria offered to buy the lake for fishing, but the monastery refused. In the process, though, the Archduke looked through the documents, and a surprise was waiting for him. It looked as if the two 12th century knights had never changed their will. The monastery's paperwork seemed to have been forged. Since the monastery had been the accepted owners for 2 centuries already, the Archduke suggested a compromise. He would officially legitimize the monastery's claim to the lake, as long as his court would be allowed to fish in it. The clouds were starting to disappear when we drove to a different shore of the same lake. With the blue sky and the bright sunlight, the lake felt transformed. Crystal clear turquoise water, with the snowy mountains reflected in the gentle ripples. The water looked so inviting, I couldn't help myself. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that it was absolutely freezing cold, but it was worth it. I felt exhilarated. The lake lies between two alpine mountain ranges, so we decided to head up the Pfalzturntal, a valley in the Karwendel mountain range. The mountain Sonjoch loomed over us for most of our hike, more than twice as high as anything back in England. In just 2 days, we'd seen a spring dedicated to the Holy Cross, a waterfall where people venerate Mary, and a lake once owned by the church. It's easy to see why these places have been sanctified. I personally don't follow a religion. My connection to nature is my source of awe and wonder and spiritual belonging. As the sun was setting, we headed back to the lake to soak up the magical light enveloping everything in its soft blue glow. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I put a lot of time and energy into each one, and I want to let you know that I have relaunched my Patreon page, where I share extra things like photography. If you sign up, your support helps me eat and pay rent so I can afford to film, edit and tell these stories. But no worries if you can't. I will continue to create and share YouTube videos for free. If you like, share and subscribe though, it really helps making this sustainable. See you next time.